everyone, this is Dr. Mariam Narona. So far, we have taken a look at the meaning and definition of partnership. We've also taken a look at essential features of a partnership, miscellaneous features of a partnership. We've discussed the true test of partnership, and we have spoken about the different types of partnerships. Now, in this video, we'll be discussing types of partners. Mentioned earlier, just to reinforce, I'm mentioning it again, that there is a difference between types of partnerships and types of partners. So if you get a question on either of these, the answer is not the same. The answers to these questions are very different, so please be careful about it. Do not duplicate it. We've discussed types of partnerships already in the previous video, and now we're taking a look at types of partners. Now you have more types of partners than partnerships. Please remember that that's not the only difference between them, the number of types of partners that you have to remember and types of partnerships, but types of partnerships are different on the basis of the nature, object, or purpose of the partnership and duration, whereas types of partners differ on the basis of their contribution or their extent of liability, right? That's the main reason why you have different types of partners. So first type is active partner, also known as actual partner. This is someone who becomes a partner by agreement and is actively involved in the day-to-day conduct of the business. And such partners are known to others. They are liable to third parties for all acts which they carry out during the normal course of business of the firm. And active partners, when they retire from the firm, are required to give a public notice with regard to the retirement, just because everybody knows them, and this is necessary for them to free themselves of any further liability with regard to that firm after their retirement. Then the second type of partner, dormant partner, also known as sleeping partner. Dormant partner is one who is not known to outsiders as a partner in the firm. So he contributes capital, he shares in profits, but he does not participate in the conduct of the business. So as such, nobody really knows him, and they do not go and ask him anything related to the business, and such a person need not give notice of his retirement from the firm. He is not liable for any acts of the firm once he retires from the firm, but as long as he is a part of the firm, he is liable for all acts of the firm, just like any other partner. Then you have nominal partner. Now this person is in name only. He's a partner in name only. He's a person of good standing, credit worthiness, good reputation, and he decides to lend his good name to the firm. He does not get a share in the profits of the business, neither does he contribute capital. So the only thing that he is giving to the firm is his good name and reputation by being a part of that firm that way. Then you have silent partner. Now a silent partner is one who does not have any voice in the management of the partnership business. So he shares profits and losses and is liable for debts of the firm, for acts of the firm, but he does not take an active part in the conduct of the business. He contributes capital. Then partner and profits only. As the name itself suggests, this is a partner who is entitled to share profits only. He does not share liability for any of the losses. Now, such a person is called a partner in profits only, and so he is not really permitted to take part in the conduct of the business, but he is liable for all the acts of the firm. Then you have the concept of sub partner. A sub partner is one who does not contribute capital. He is not a part of the firm. He is not liable for acts of the firm, but one of the partners in the firm agrees to share his profits with him. So that's how he becomes a sub partner. So he has claim only towards that partner who has agreed to share his profits with him. He does not have any claims against the firm. Working partner is somebody who has some qualifications and he is contributing to the firm in that special capacity. So there's a construction firm and there's an architect who's a partner in that firm, and he's providing his services as an architect to that firm. Then he would be a working partner and he gets a fixed salary over and above his share in the profits. Then incoming partners. Now an incoming partner is somebody who enters as a new partner in an already existing partnership firm. Now he will not be liable for any acts of the firm before his admission as a partner. But if he agrees specifically to take on liability for any acts before he entered the firm, then that is also possible. So, but he cannot be bound really unless he agrees for any acts which were done before he joined the firm. Outgoing partner is somebody who's leaving the firm, retiring and going out of an existing firm. Now he is liable for all acts of the firm till he is a part of that firm, and he should get a share of profits also till that date. So and he's an outgoing partner, and that outgoing partner may be bound by partners in the firm saying that you cannot do the same business, or in this area you will not be able to do the same business for a certain duration after you leave this firm. Those kind of agreements, we have discussed them already in agreements and restraint of trade. Those are possible and those are entered into with regard to outgoing partners. Then minor as a partner. Minor can be a partner in a firm. He can be admitted to the benefits of a partnership if all partners agree. He will not be personally liable for any acts of the firm. Now he's only liable to the extent of a share in the profits or in the assets of the firm. His personal assets cannot be attached. His liability is not going to be unlimited like other partners. Then partner by estoppel. Now partner by estoppel is someone who acts as if he is a partner of the firm. So he makes that sort of a representation, builds that image, maybe by sitting at a shop or being at an office. People assume that he is a partner, and people who deal with the firm, they believe that he is a partner, and in such circumstances he is prevented from denying the fact that he is a partner, because by his behavior he has been accepting or showing that he is a partner. So these are types of partners. So far we have discussed definition of partnership, essential features of partnership, miscellaneous features of partnership, true test of partnership, types of partnerships, and types of partners. Next we'll be taking up rights of partners. Thank you for listening.